Welcome to The Explainer. I am so thrilled you're tuning in today, mainly because we're tackling something that impacts, quite literally, every single person with a smartphone or a computer. We're going to do a clear, well-paced breakdown of modern cybersecurity threats. So if you've ever found yourself wondering what malware actually is, how the mechanics of it work behind the scenes, or why security experts are just constantly sounding the alarm, well, you are in exactly the right place.
But I want to kick things off with a pretty serious question. Could your device be infected right now? It's a heavy thought, I know, but the reality is, and wait for it, your device could actually be compromised at this very moment and you wouldn't even know it. Hackers are actively using 7 highly specific types of malware to steal personal data, lock up files for ransom, and even watch literally everything you do online without you ever suspecting a thing.
And listen, we aren't just talking about a few rogue actors in a basement anymore. We're talking about a massive, multi-billion-dollar global industry. Malware is absolutely the weapon of choice for cybercrime worldwide. From individual criminals all the way up to highly sophisticated state-sponsored international networks, these attackers are just constantly evolving their tactics to bypass your security systems and infiltrate your digital life. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our structured roadmap for today's digital rogues gallery. First, the threat landscape. 2, classics and con artists. 3, extortion and deep infiltration. 4, stealth threats and hijackers. 5, infiltration vectors. And finally, your digital defense arsenal. Starting right off with Section 1, the digital threat landscape, because knowing is your first line of defense. Moving on to Section 2, classic infections and con artists. Now, what's really interesting here is the critical contrast between a virus and a worm. People use these terms interchangeably all the time, but mechanically, they are entirely different beasts. A virus is a piece of code that physically attaches itself to legitimate programs and files in your computer. But here's the catch. It needs you. When you run that program or open that file, only then does the virus activate and spread. A worm, on the other hand, is like a self-replicating digital plague. It is completely autonomous. It doesn't need to attach to a file, and it certainly doesn't need your help to spread across networks, just traveling silently through email or connected systems. Both of them will corrupt your files and slow your device to a crawl for sure, but their mechanics of infection are totally different.
Next up in our con artist category is the Trojan. I want you to think of the Trojan as the ultimate digital trickster. It basically disguises itself as something you actually want, maybe a crucial software update, a fun new game, or some handy productivity tool. You willingly download it, completely believing it's safe, but the absolute second you install it, boom, it silently opens a back door to your system, handing hackers complete, unfettered access to your device. The pure deception of it is exactly what makes it so devastating.
And hey, speaking of deception, we have spyware. This operates in a similarly deceptive manner, but with a much more chilling goal. Spyware secretly installs itself and essentially turns your device into a personal surveillance tool. We are talking about capturing every single keystroke you make, tracking every website you visit, and logging every password you type in. It sends all this straight back to the attacker. The most sophisticated versions out there can even hijack your camera and your microphone. They're just watching and listening without you having any obvious signs that you've been compromised. No way you'd even know. Which brings us to a rather sobering reality, perfectly captured by this quote right from our source material. If you think you're safe because you have antivirus software, think again. Basic security is great, it really is, but the threats we're about to look at next are specifically mechanically designed to bypass standard security measures. They don't just sneak past, they actively dismantle your defenses.
Which leads us to Section 3, extortion and deep infiltration.
Let's walk through the frankly terrifying 3-step mechanics of ransomware, which has just exploded into a massive threat for huge businesses and regular folks alike. Step 1, it infiltrates your system. Step 2, it rapidly encrypts your files, making them completely inaccessible to you. You're locked out. And Step 3, the extortion. You get a message demanding payment, almost always in cryptocurrency, to buy back the decryption key. Staggering billions of dollars are paid globally every single year. But for an individual, a single attack can instantly wipe out years of irreplaceable family memories, photos, and crucial financial records. And the absolute worst part? Even if you pay the ransom, there is literally zero guarantee the attackers won't just take your money and disappear anyway.
Then we have rootkits. If Trojans are the con artists, rootkits are the ninja assassins of malware. They install deep at the OS root level.
Now, what this means is they bury themselves underneath your operating system where standard antivirus software simply cannot see them. Once installed, a rootkit masks other malicious programs. It manipulates your system files, and it basically turns off your security software from the inside. It secretly hands over administrative access to hackers, letting them use your computer for illegal activities right under your nose, completely undetected.
Let's move to Section 4 and see how this builds: stealth, threats, and hijackers. First up here is cryptojacking. This is a really fascinating, if totally malicious, modern mechanic. Instead of stealing your data, hackers silently hijack your computer's processing power. Why? To mine cryptocurrency for themselves. Your device effectively becomes a slave worker in their profit scheme. So, if you've ever wondered why your computer is suddenly running incredibly slowly, why the fans sound like a jet engine taking off, or why your electricity bill has just unexpectedly spiked, yeah, you might be a victim of cryptojacking. The criminals profit while your hardware rapidly deteriorates. And then we have logic bombs. Unlike worms that spread like wildfire, a logic bomb is a ticking time bomb. It is a piece of dormant malicious code hidden inside your system, and it does absolutely nothing until a very specific condition is met. For example, a disgruntled programmer might plant a logic bomb in a company's software, programming it to sit quietly for months, only to suddenly activate on a specific date and cause catastrophic file deletion.
So how are they getting in? Section 5. How malware infiltrates devices.
So the crucial point here is understanding these three primary entry vectors, basically how these sieges breach the castle walls. First, phishing emails. These are meticulously designed to trick you into clicking malicious links or downloading infected attachments. They prey on human error. Second, shady website downloads. This is where malware is packaged within untrustworthy third-party apps or pirated software. But the third one, system vulnerabilities, is perhaps the scariest of the bunch. These are actual security weaknesses in your operating system itself. Hackers can exploit these flaws to inject malware without you clicking a link, downloading a file, or doing anything wrong at all.
But you're not defenseless. Section 6. Your digital defense arsenal.
Okay, these threats are real. They are extremely active and they are getting smarter. But listen to me, you are not helpless here. Understanding the mechanics of malware gives you the actual blueprint for how to defeat it. So here's your actionable defense plan. First, stay informed. And hey, just by watching this explainer, you're already doing this. Second, keep your software updated. Remember those system vulnerabilities we just talked about? Software updates are literally the patches to fix those exact holes. Third, use strong, unique passwords to prevent easy backdoor access. And fourth, cultivate a mindset of high skepticism. Be incredibly wary of unsolicited emails, unexpected attachments, and random links. By actively applying these foundational security basics, you drastically reduce your attack surface.
So, I want to leave you with a final provocative thought to chew on. Now that you know the threats, and you really understand the mechanics behind viruses, ransomware, and these stealth hijackers, how secure is your device today? Are your files backed up? Are your updates pending right now? Don't wait until you're staring at a ransom demand on your screen. Take control, evaluate your personal digital defense right now, and protect yourself starting today.